G'day, my name is Glenn Johnson. I'll be taking you through this tutorial video on how to manage employee details on the free timesheet system. So by now you would have already seen the tutorial video on timesheets, the timesheets that are mailed to you and you send back to the system. But you may be wondering what happens if I have a new employee. I need to put their details on the system. I need to make sure they reflect on those timesheets. You may also be asking, what about current employees that change their details? You may have an employee that is promoted to a higher level and is paid at a higher rate. You may have an employee that's moved from one department to another. Therefore, their name must move from the receiving department to the dispatch department and be charged at a different cost center. And also, what happens if your employee gets fired? You want them off the timesheet, or they leave for a good reason and you know they're coming back, but you want to have access to them, to take them off the timesheet for maybe 2-3 weeks, maybe a month, but they are coming back at a later stage. You can put them back onto the timesheet when the time comes. So how do you do this? These are all really good questions and we're going to go through them in this tutorial video. But first, let me just take you through this report. This is what your employee database management report will look like. We may refer to this report as the offline employee details report. Don't get too confused. We're just using the term employee database management for this tutorial video. But this is what it will look like. You'll have a generated on section over here, a place to put your authorizer pin, just like on your daily timesheets, on your other timesheets. Same thing over there. A place to approve or set the action for the timesheet. Must this timesheet approve the changes? You'll have a column for PIN code. Now, very important, please never mess with the PIN code. Leave it as is, because that is a fixed system requirement. If you change it, you're not going to do yourself any favors. It's going to make life difficult for you. So please don't do that. We don't want to come in and have to fix your changes. So please leave that PIN code column alone. Full name, you can see there's already some full names there. Here's where you type the employee's name. Export code, this is for your AX assignee number. Please make sure you get it correct. If you get it wrong and you put the wrong PIN number in here or the wrong assignee number in here, it's going to pay the wrong employees. Please don't do that. You're going to have a place for department, and here's a drop down. When you requested this account to be on free timesheets, you gave us a list of all the departments that you wanted on that site. So all the departments that you requested will be listed here, and you can select them from this drop-down menu. All right. Position. Also, when you requested the account for free timesheets, you gave us the contract order number. So we went and we got all your positions that are available for that contract order number. We got all the cost centers. We got all the rate groups as well. Okay. So you'll have drop-downs for each. Please note that not all the columns are necessary for you. You'll see shift columns. There are no shifts in free timesheets. That's only for accounts that have devices on them. In this account, there's job, state, client. You can ignore all of this. You just need department, position, cost center, and rate group or level. All right. You should also have been sent a standard operating procedure for using timesheets. Now it'll look a little like this, and you would need to go to section B, which is daily offline employee report, or as we refer to in this tutorial video as a employee database management report. Here it's going to go through everything that we are going through now, just in more detail. But please, I encourage you, even after listening to this video, please go and read through this. It's going to tell you to not save your file in any format other than XLSX format. The system, when you mail it back to the system to update the employee details, it's going to ignore any other format. Please make sure. And how to name it, that you mustn't hide rows, freeze panes, insert rows or columns. Please do nothing of that. It's going to tell you what to do, what not to do. And it's also got a section here on frequently asked questions. Like, what happens if you get a notification that the wrong PIN number was entered into the timesheet? What do? Who do you contact? What exactly happened? What happens if I'm waiting too long for a timesheet? Or in this case, a report, employee management report. What happens if I forget my PIN code? Please go through this. If you have any questions, please give us an email and ask us. We're happy to help. We're there to make sure you understand. All right. But let us go through this process from the beginning. You'll be sent these employee database management reports every single day. Not every day will you use it though. You need to understand that only when an employee starts, a new employee needs to have his details, on the day that he starts, then you go to that employee report and upload his details. Or on the day that an employee is transferred to a new department, that's when you use this. On the day that something happens. If nothing happens on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if nothing happens the whole week, you'll be ignoring most of your employee confirmation reports. Okay. When you get the email, double click on it. It'll open up. The first thing you're going to see here is this yellow protected view banner that goes across. Please ignore it. It's not the end of the world. It's not anything to panic about. Just click enable editing and you're good to go. Carry on as normal. The next thing you need to do is put in your authorizer pin. Same authorizer pin that you would use for your daily timesheets. All right. And then you'd leave it as approved changes. So let's say we had a new employee. Jack Lemon started today, so we need to put his details in. You will see that there's a couple of empty employees over here, what we call unassigned employee lines. You're welcome to use anyone, doesn't matter which one, as long as there's not already an employee that's been assigned to that line. So let's go to the first one here and put in Jack Lemon's name over here. His AX code is 11223334. Put it in. His department is the bytes department. His position is the LD position. His cost center, let's call it EF agent, and his level, put him on his level 2 process worker. So simple as that. That's how you upload details for a new employee. When the timesheet gets generated, it'll show you those, it'll include those details, and Jack Lemon will be under the bytes department heading. The other scenario is what happens if somebody changes the department. He's been working on the receiving, he needs to come down from receiving, and his name needs to be, or her name needs to be reflected under the dispatch department. First thing you do, what I do is I search for the employee, I hold down control and I tap F and it brings up this find and replace menu. I know her name is Sarah and I find it, there she is. Now I need to change her department. So firstly it's a new department, so her cost center changed to EF agent and her department changes to, let's put her on bytes along with the new guy. Alright, now when the timesheet generates, her name will be under that department, and when the invoice gets generated, her hours will be charged to EF agent cost center. The other situation is what happens if somebody is promoted. He's got a higher rate. Let's do that. Let's find Ili. There we go, Ilili. His position was PRO. He's now been promoted to a QA position, which, take my word for it, it's a high position. And his level has also changed. It's not level 2, he's level 3. His rate group has changed. Alright, easy as that. The other scenario is what happens if a person is dismissed or leaves and you want them off the timesheet. So let's look for Polly. Well, let's look at Gerald Kennedy. To remove a person from a timesheet, you need to allocate them to a specific department called No Department. Let's say Gerald, he was dismissed, so we put him on No Department. This means that when the timesheet is generated, it's going to generate for all the employees that are allocated to every department except No Department. Now, let's say Polly, Rats and Polly, he or she returned, came back from working at another assignment somewhere else, and we want to use them again in the bytes department. So we just go take them from no department, put them on Bytes, put them onto the right cost center, EF agent. Then I've completed. Polly has returned and Gerald has been dismissed. We don't want to see them on the timesheet that gets generated. Once you've done all your changes, you need to mail this to the system. Double checking, yes, my PIN number has been put into this timesheet. To mail it, there's a couple of ways of doing it. I'm using Microsoft Office Excel 2013, so this is my way of doing it. I click on File, I click on Share, Email, Send as Attachment. And that automatically opens up an email that you'll see in a minute, where I can put in the email address. Auto is over there, auto@ersbiometrics.co.za, and I can mail it as the attachment. So I don't have to put anything in the email body here. I don't have to have any weird thing in the subject line. The system will know what to do with it. And you'll notice that's the same email address as the timesheets you have to send the timesheets to. You may need to save the timesheet to your desktop or to your computer, then open up an email and then manually attach it to the email. Fine, you can do it anywhere you want as long as it's an email attachment that is sent to that email address. And then you send it off. Between 10 to 15 minutes later, you should receive an email that looks like this. It's confirming all the changes that you made. And if you go through it, you'll see that it's approved by you, when it was approved, and you can go down and you can make sure, just confirm that all the new employees that you've loaded and all the changes on new positions, new cost centers, taking them off a timesheet, putting them back on a timesheet, that'll all be confirmed here. So that is how you use the Employee Database Management's report for a free timesheet client. I hope this was helpful. If there's any further questions, please feel free to give us an email and we will get back to you. Either we'll call you back or we'll give you an email explaining what's going on. But please, we're here to help and make sure you understand this system 100%. So thank you for watching. Bye.